This video is sponsored by DistroKid. If you are an independent artist or producer, go with DistroKid. They are the best choice. We're going to be getting into a few reasons why later in this video. Roland is hitting us with another update. This time it's on the TRs, so the TR-8S as well as the TR-6S and the TR editor, which is a software. We're not going to be getting into that. We're going to be focusing on the standalone updates. If this video pushes you over the edge to purchase either the TR-8S or the TR-6S, please consider using the affiliate links in the description of this video. If you do use those links, it just helps keep this train going. It helps me a lot, so do that. I also have a Patreon with tons of exclusive content. Link for that in the description as well. What is new about this update? They've both been updated with the exact same thing. So the 6S is at 2.0, the TR-8S is at 3.0. We'll be focusing primarily on the 8S for this video, but like I said, they've made the exact same updates for the 6S. There's like one little minute difference in how to implement that update, so we'll be getting into that as well. So one of the big things is that they've added CR-78 sounds or samples. The CR-78 is a classic vintage analog Roland drum machine. And while the 8S and 6S are certainly not analog drum machines, they've implemented a technology specifically for classic Roland drum sounds like the 808, the 909, the 909, the CR-78. All of these samples use what's called ACB, analog circuit behavior. It's a technology that essentially imitates an analog circuit. So you're getting that sort of imperfection and inconsistency that you hear with classic analog Roland drum machines, which is part of what's desirable about them. It gives like a certain bounce, a warmer quality perhaps. Even from a rhythmic standpoint, certain steps react differently depending on what else is playing on that step. And so anyways, a long way of saying that that's the technology that's been implemented into the CR-78 sounds. And maybe some of you were like, who cares? Like, what is the CR-78? It's an iconic drum machine. It's maybe not as iconic as the TR-808, but it's up there. It's used by artists like Radiohead, Beck, Phil Collins. The list goes on, and this is what it sounds like. By the way, thank you to Roland for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on with these CR-78 sounds. I'm going to give you a thorough idea of how I like to use them and how I like to get them to sound good on the TR-8S. This approach functions the exact same way with the 6S, but with way less channels. We'll start by throwing in a 4-on-the-floor kick. I'm going to add a little cheeky extra note here, and I'll bring the velocity down on that note as well. So here's the kick. Right, so it sounds very vintagey. That's the sound. If I want to bring that decay down to make it a very clicky, almost nothing of a kick, I could do that as well. So this is the sound of the CR-78. I'm going to add snare over top of this. Let's go. Tap-a-tap. Tap-a-tap. Okay, so already I'm assuming that if we were to play this exact groove or plug in this exact groove on the classic CR-78, this note here, the downbeat, I'm assuming that these notes too are the same thing. Yeah, they would be short for whatever reason. Like that's probably the sound of the CR-78. Of course, if we want to though, we could change that. So to give you an example of this, I'm going to change the decay of these first notes, super short, and this one long, right? So we're able to reverse that if we want to. Let's throw in a low tom. Tune that down a bit. Right, so it almost sounds 808-y. It's nice. And what does this sound like if we just throw some delay on there? Very cool. We'll throw a medium tom on there. Ding. Tune this down as well. Let's see what we have on high tom. We got maracas. What does the maraca sound like? Okay, so that's cool. I mean, it's kind of like a hi-hat, which we're going to get to. So I'm actually going to get rid of these and change this into another tom. So this would be like a high tom. high bongo. Let's see what this sounds. Cool. I like to make a habit of saving with the TR-8S because if you shut it down and you don't save, you lose all of your information. So I'm a chronic saver with the TR-8S. I suggest that you do the same as well as with the TR-6S. So I'll take a second to just massage some of these in now. Maybe change the decay. I do like the tuning of all these, so I'm not going to change that. Tuning of the snare. Longer kick. Maybe a lower kick as well with delay. Feedback. Next is rim shot. Whoa. Again, different tunings on different steps. What if it's, whoa. Interesting. Again, I'm assuming that's a product of ACB. The CR-78 probably responds in the same way. We'll leave it like this. I'm actually going to bring the volume of the rim shot down a little bit. Let's do that. Decay, level, gain, bring this down. Something like that, that's better. Next here is tambo, which is essentially like a hi-hat. Like I would treat it sort of like a hi-hat. Right, we could turn the tuning down, make it an open hi-hat sort of thing. High boost. So that's cool. I'm actually going to mute this because it's very similar to the hi-hat as well. And the hi-hat's really cool because it has like this cool metallic sound to it, which is great. So I'll show you what I mean. Metallic is at 0. Turn that up. Bring the velocity of these down. Tambo back up. Right, so if we wanted that extra hi-hat layer, we have it here with these two. Cool. The next one, I think this is it. This is cymbal. This, I think, is my favorite CR-78 sound. I don't like cymbals, like especially on drum machines, especially like classic Roland drum sounds. 808 cymbals, I'm not crazy about them. The CR-78 is nice and soft, and it almost has like this reverse sidechain quality to it. Let me give you an idea of this. Oh, like it keeps going, it's sidechaining to the kick, it sounds like almost. What about with every downbeat? Okay, so that's cool. It might be a little bit loud. Also, I'm going to tune it down. If you want to bring that down though to make it a bit shorter, I want that nice and long though. Shift, instrument, gain, bring this way down. It almost sounds like white noise or something. I like that. And lastly, we have Guiro, which I'm not crazy about. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, I'm just not going to use that. That's cool. At least not for this. But cowbell is cool as well. So as I mentioned, not too crazy about these last two sounds, and I also want to leave room for the 808, Chromatic 808, which is a new feature of this update. But how do we use and set up Chromatic 808? It's a little bit different from the 8S versus the 6S, so we'll be going through both of those. Again, Chromatic 808 uses ACB, so it emulates an analog circuit. It has that sort of inconsistent bouncy sound. And I'll set it up here on this last track. So shift instrument, we're gonna go over to bass, and it's the first one, so 808 chromatic bass. And so how do you set it up to tune chromatically? You have to involve this control select button right here. So I hit control select, control, I'm gonna select the very last thing, so whoop, all the way to the end, ACB course. From here now, I'm actually gonna mute everything except for the hi-hats, let's say, just so we could really hear that bass, put quarter notes on the bass. So it looks like these have already been tuned. If you want to change the notes on any of these, select your note and scroll through with the control knob. This rhythm is kind of lame, so I got rid of that. Choose this note. Oh, beep, oh. Okay, so it looks like I already tuned this before. This here I've tuned to +10, +1, +1. With the rest of the drums, and I'll increase the decay on this to make it much longer bass notes. Ooh, yes. And I actually haven't done this yet. I guess you could tune. No, it stays tuned because the motion record is on. So this knob is actually, it doesn't work at this point. With the kick, okay, so this kick right now, it's competing with the 808, which I don't like. So in this case, I think the best solution would be to just switch out the kick to something like, I don't know, maybe a 909, or bring that decay all the way down to 0. There's still a little bit of battling. So yeah, it might not be the best kick for this 808 chromatic bass line. And of course, for my TR-6S peeps, I don't want to leave you guys out either. This is the only function of the update that's like slightly different from one unit to the next, so I want to cover that as well. So I'm on this last track here, OH, shift, instrument. I'm going to go over to bass. It's the first one, 808 chromatic bass. From there, I'm going to hit shift and kit, which is edit. Head over to kit control, and I'll go to OH. Find that there. Control, no, I don't want to control that. I want to control ACB course. From there, I have to make sure that motion record is on, so shift and variation for motion record. It's currently on. I'll plug in some notes, TR-rec. Let's say this note here, I want to tune it. Control, ACB course is right there, and I could change to whatever note I want. This update has also blessed us with some new CR-78 patterns, which showcase a bunch of different genres and are also just a great place to start with. Before getting into that though, let's talk about the best way to distribute your music. First off, there's a discount linked in the description of this video, which I encourage you to use. It's just over $20 a year to release unlimited music to all major streaming platforms. And one of the things that makes it amazing for independent artists is just the sheer amount of free promotional tools that they offer. Personally, my favorite is Hyperfollow, which I like to use as a free link and bio link. It's the cleanest that I could find, and you're able to claim as many pages as you'd like for free. So for example, if you have multiple artist names or possibly landing pages for singles or any other important landing pages, DistroKid's got you with Hyperfollow. They recently released an iOS app so you can access all of your DistroKid information, your statistics, all through your smartphone, which just makes everything that much easier and like on the go. So join the team. There's over 1 million DistroKid users, and they distribute 1/3 of the world's music. Just a heads up that in order to access these, you need to download the backup file and not just the firmware update, which should be in the download link provided in the description. The CR-78 kit, if you want to use it, is kit, where is it? 85. And this is a great way just to see how it sounds in different genres. If you just go to any old stock pattern, I'll find one that I like. I like that one. So kit, we're going to scroll over to 85. Let's see what that sounds like with these drums. Maybe not on that one. Let's try a different one. On like a trap thing. See if it works for that. Wow, so it just vintageizes it so hard. That is not a trap beat anymore. That gives you a great starting point. There's also stock grooves that were specifically made with the CR-78 in mind. So like these ones, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, I think. And these are pretty long grooves as well. It uses all 8 variations, this one specifically. It's like kind of a drum and bassy sort of thing, a la CR-78. And the same thing applies to the TR-6S with these new patterns. This is what I have for you guys today. Hopefully you're as excited as I am about this update. Affiliate links for the TR-8S and the 6S, please do use those if you end up purchasing. It helps me a tremendous amount. I also have a Patreon with a bunch of exclusive content. Take a peep, and that's what I have for you. Hope to see you soon. Bye.